The person we're going to talk about today is Philippines' most infamous famous figure, a national hero, if you will. A nationalist, writer, polymath, and optometrist on occasion, according to Wikipedia. Who the is Jose Potasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda? And why does his name have so many lisps? He was born on June 19, 1861, a birthday that can only be remembered if someone posts about it on Facebook. He died December 30, but his death day was more remembered than his birthday. I guess happy death day, Pepe. Rizal's family was so big that it had to take 2 pages to write down. He was born to Don Francisco Rizal Mercado and Teodora Alonso. His sisters were Concepcion Rizal, Josefa Rizal, Trinidad Rizal, Soledad Rizal, Saturnina Rizal, Paciano Rizal, Narcisa Rizal, Olimpia Rizal, Lucia Rizal, and Maria Rizal. Also, I forgot to mention that Rizal's house was so well maintained that the Carabao turned into a motorbike. According to some readings, his mother nearly died during his delivery because of his big head. Wow. 3 days after his birth, Rizal was baptized at the Catholic Church of Calamba by the parish priest Reverend Rufino Coyentes. During 1865 to 1867, his mother taught them how to read and write. I was only 5 years old when I started writing. Also, a person's hand doesn't fully develop until they're 10. At the age of 3, Rizal mastered and learned the alphabet taught by his mother. At a very young age, he has shown great interest in reading. He enjoyed reading books in their library at home, with his mother who acts as his reading teacher and critic. At this time, he also learned how to pray and even read the Bible. What a religious boy. When Rizal grew older, his parents hired private tutors to give him lessons at home in preparation for his formal education. One of them was Leon Monroy, a classmate of his father, who taught him how to read Latin. When he was just 4 years old, his sister Concepcion, the eighth child of the Rizal family, died at the age of 3. Sad. This was the first time he cried as a young boy. As sad as he was, the parish priest of Calamba, Father Leoncio Lopez, helped Rizal understand the philosophy of life and learned the value of scholarship and intellectual honesty. Rizal in his childhood used to take long rides by riding his pony that his father gave him. Among his pets were doves and a dog. Owing to the continuous teachings of Doña Teodora, Rizal was persuaded to express his feelings through verses. As do I, but I have taught myself. He was able to write his first poem at 8 years old. The poem was entitled Sa Aking Mga Kababata, or To My Fellow Children, which showed that Rizal at a very young age already had love for his country. Similarly, he incorporates the love for the native language with God's gift of freedom. He compared his native language of Tagalog to Latin. I think I read that wrong. I think someone wrote it wrong. He compared his native language of Tagalog, it's of, not or, of Tagalog to Latin, English, and Spanish. Tagalog, like any other languages, had its own alphabet and system writing, which, according to Rizal, disappeared because they were neglected or ignored. With this, he encouraged his fellow children to love their native tongue. After his tutor, Leon Monroy, died, his parents decided to transfer Rizal to a private school in Binyan, Laguna. He was accompanied by his older brother, Paciano, who acted as his second father during his school days in Binyan. The school was then supervised by Maestro Justiniano Aquino Cruz. Rizal's first day of class in the school was not easy. The maestro asked him if he knows how to speak Latin or Espanol, but in response, he only knew a little of the languages. As a result, one of his classmates, named Pedro, son of the maestro, laughed at him. Pedro was always bullying him, that eventually resulted to a brawl. But knowing Rizal acquired knowledge and the skill of the art of wrestling by his Tio Manuel, he defeated Pedro, Well deserved. After this said incident, Rizal became popular in his class. Here, Rizal was able to show his intellectual superiority. He excelled in his class in Latin, Spanish, and other subjects in the curriculum for elementary pupils. Because of this, many of the students became jealous to him and did everything to destroy Rizal's name to Maestro Cruz. While Rizal's interest in painting was nurtured early on by an old painter named Juancho de Binian, during this time, knowledge was taught in the minds of the students by doing tedious memorization method. Despite some lack of the elementary education in the Spanish system, Rizal was able to have the needed instructions preparatory for college work in Manila. Here's Rizal's to my fellow children but actually in Tagalog because I couldn't read the English that was in the PDF. Sa aking mga kabata, kapag ka ang bayay sadyang umiibig sa kaniyang salitang kaloob ng langit, santang kalayaan nasa ring masapit, katulad ng ibong nasa himpapawid. Pagkat ang salita'y isang kahatulan sa bayan, sa nayot mga kaharian, at sa isang taong katulad kabagay ng ating mga likha noong kalayaan. Ang hindi magbahal sa kanyang salita, mahigit sa hayop at malansang isda. Kaya ang marapat pagyamanin kusa na tulad sa isang tunay na nagpala. Ang wikang Tagalog tulad din sa Latin, sa Ingles, sa Kastila at salitang Anghel, sapagkat ang poong maalam tumingin ang salitang ng gawad nagbigay sa atin. I sound like a I sound like I'm I sound like I'm reading a Bible verse. Ang salita na tiwad din sa iba na may alfabeto at sariling letra na kaya nawalay dinatnan ng sigwa ang lunday sa lawa noong dakong una. Anyway, next is his higher education. The College Arneo was known to be the most prestigious college for boys because of its great teachings, such as being conyo. From 1872 to 1877, under the supervision of the Jesuit priests, Rizal studied at Arneo de Manila. Rizal went to Arneo Municipal, formerly known as Escuela Pia. Hold on, I gotta change my mics. In search for Rizal's former knowledge as a high school student, his father wanted to send Rizal to Letran but decided to have him enrolled at the latter instead. At Arneo de Manila, Rizal took first to Colegio de San Juan de Letran on June 10, 1872. His brother Paciano accompanied him when he took the exam. The exams for incoming freshmen in the different colleges for boys were administered or held at the Colegio de San Juan de Letran since the Dominicans exercised the power of inspection and regulation over Arneo at the time. After passing the exam, Rizal was admitted to Arneo Municipal. Listen, I'm just adopting an endonym for Arneo, okay? Although Rizal qualified for the entrance exams, Father Machin Ferrand, who was then the college registrar, refused Rizal's admission in the institution for two reasons. First, Rizal was a late registrant, and second, he was very pale, thin, and undersized for an 11-year-old. But with the help of Manuel Burgos, he was accepted to the institution. Jose was not able to use Mercado as his surname when he enrolled at Arneo. He was registered as Jose Rizal because his real surname had rung the bell to the ears of the authorities. This was because of Paciano's relations with one of the leaders of the secularization movement, Father Burgos. At that time, Arneo was offering a 6-year program that gives students the academic title of bachelier. Yeah, it's French. Is it French? No, it's Spanish. Bachiller in Artes. Is it Spanish? No, it's Spanish. Bachiller in Artes. Bachiller in Artes. This exposed students to 5 subjects: Christian doctrine, lenguae de español, Latin, griego, and francés, history and geography, world history and geography, and history of Spain and the Philippines, mathematics and sciences, geometry, trigonometry, mineralogy, chemistry, physics, botany, and zoology, and classic disciplines, poetry, rhetoric, and philosophy. Yeah, thank you. Arneo, as a prestigious school, offered the best secondary education for boys that enhances the character of their students through strict religious instruction and discipline. Before the classes start, the students must first hear masses and end with prayers. Just like the ones I had in CKC. To be fair, we had decent teachers. To encourage the spirit of competition among students in academics, with the help of Atenean teachers, the school proposed a program of dividing the class into two competing groups or empires. The Roman Empire, composed of boarding students at Ateneo, and the Carthaginian Empire, composed of non boarding students at Arneo. Both groups have ranks and classifications, and they competed through question and answers. When banners are raised, it means victory for the group. There is defeat if banners are lowered. I mean, it's a good system. Rizal's first professor was Jose Bech. At first, Rizal was left behind among his classmates, but he knew the severity of his studies. So he organized and seriously observed himself a timetable to manage his studies. So he rec- so he recognized and seriously observed himself a timetable to manage his studies, a title given to the most intelligent in the class. The method of instruction used at Arneo was the ration, it's not ration, it's ration studiorum, was the ration studiorum, a system of indoctrination under tight and constant discipline, but with reward. It applies memorization and understanding of the concepts taught in class. At that time, the Atenean education had one goal: